OceanGate Voyage is one of the saddest things that has happened in the last few years. If you don't know what the OceanGate Voyage is, basically five different crew members got into a submarine where they wanted to explore the remains of the Titanic, maybe uncover some of the history, and really just explore it and have a good time. But this quickly turned into a very tragic accident as the five members got closer and closer to the ocean floor. The pressure on the submarine itself basically crushed itself going inward, making the submarine implode and taking the lives tragically of the five crew members. And a part of this expedition that was going on, there was also a YouTuber that goes by Scuba Jake who apparently was supposed to be a part of this expedition. And when I say a part, I don't just mean like, oh, he kind of reached out and it was kind of a plan. I mean, he was basically on the expedition, but only got off of it because of something that happened. So Scuba Jake came out and did a interview where he basically talks about how when he went on this voyage, he probably got invited, because of his channel, and he got on the boat, he got on the scuba, and he figured that everything was fine. Everything looked fine. There was no damage or anything like that. And him and the crew basically started to descend into the ocean. And as they did, the fog basically very kicked up in the ocean. Like it was a very, very foggy and made it very hard for them to see. So they figured it was too dangerous. And they turned around, they resurfaced, and they didn't go on the voyage originally. So this made it where, since it got delayed, Jake wasn't able to go on this voyage with these crew members that he met. And because of this, a few days later, or not because, let me take that back. So, not because, but a few days later, they still went on the voyage, and as they went down to the bottom of the ocean, like I said, it crushed inward on itself and imploded, taking the lives tragically of the five crew members. And this is a type of weight that is truly unbearable. This is the type of weight that could physically cripple someone mentally, emotionally, and physically for the rest of their lives if they were connected to any of these members in any way, shape, or form. And even as a outside perspective, it's insanely tragic and insanely sad at the same time. And it's insanely hard to talk about in general because I can't even start to imagine how the people feel that, were maybe these people's family members or people that were their friends. And a couple days ago, Scuba Jake, at least I believe it was a couple days ago, according to the article, basically came out and did a interview. And in this interview, he talks about how he was supposed to be on the scuba. He was there, he met the people, he became friends with them, and he was supposed to be on the scuba with them. And just, he basically was so unbelievably shocked by this that I imagine this probably sent him into a unimaginable a downward spiral, And I don't know Scuba Jake personally. I don't watch his channel. But if I was that person, right? If I was him and I just met these people 4 or 5 days ago, and the next thing I hear is a news article basically stating that there's evidence showing that their scuba was gone and that they were all gone, I think that would absolutely destroy me inside. And apparently he like kind of almost came to the verge of tears or did come to the verge of tears as he described this in an interview. And I don't blame him either. I think that 100% like inside, he is probably thinking partial guilt, right? Like, well, why wasn't I there? Maybe I could have done something, as most people would in this type of situation. But he's probably also thinking, part of the guilt is like a survivor's guilt. Like, why him? Why did he get to be lucky, right? Why did the fog happen to come in on that day that he was there, saving his life, you know? And that's something he talks about. We're about to go off of a platform and the fog just didn't lift and they canceled it. He told people. So who knows, maybe the fog saved my life. And that's just like a crazy thing because I think that this sentence alone, so who knows, maybe the fog saved my life, is very, very like emotionally deep, I would say, right? Where on the surface it's like a haha, maybe a little bit of a joke, maybe he's playing it off a little bit. But in reality, what it is like this kind of feels like a survivor's guilt. It feels like a I can't believe the fog saved my life. As that's how it feels reading it and just figuring out the information behind this. And to anybody who, is a family member or a friend of the five people that tragically lost their lives, my condolences severely. I can't even start to imagine what you had to go through. I can't imagine anybody in this situation would have to go through because even reading this alone is so unimaginably crazy to me that it feels like there's like a weight on my shoulders, like even reading this. Like it almost brings me to tears looking at the full story. And obviously I'm not in tears in this video, but I read the article before making this video, and it was a very, very emotional roller coaster. Um, but yeah, I really hope that Jake gets the help that he needs, and I hope anybody that's in these families get the helps that they need. Go to a therapist. Get your friends and family for support, and really like hone in on the trauma that this would bring. That's really all I wanted to rant about today was this tragic accident that I just honestly I happened to stumble across. I didn't even know OceanGate Voyage was a thing until literally today because of like how disconnected I am from the news and social media and stuff like that. And it's just absolutely tragic. And I'm sorry I didn't know about this sooner. I genuinely am. But all support really for the families and friends of the victims. Besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed and have a wonderful day. Peace.